Coming up on AgweekTV, edible bean and sugar beet growers are joining forces for a bigger and better show. We'll see why some South Dakota ranchers are raising their beef to sell right to restaurants.
To kick off our AgWeek Livestock Tour, we talked to a North Dakota rancher who's made some changes to help make ranching a little easier.
I'm in Millerville, Minnesota, where butter is at the heart of this small town cooperative.
Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Emily Beal. North Harvest Bean Growers Association celebrated its 50th Bean Day this year, and with a big announcement. The biggest North American gathering of edible bean growers is joining forces with the International Sugar Beet Institute for their annual gathering starting in 2026. The combined show doesn't have a name yet, but organizers from both crops are excited about the collaboration. They say combining ISBI with Bean Day gives both events an opportunity to grow because there is a crossover among growers of sugar beets and dry edible beans, and they can offer even better programming.
You know, when we look at the farmers that make up both sides, we're about a 50% same footprint. So there's just a lot of familiarity there, and I think the match really makes sense for trying to deliver programming to farmers.
60% of the U.S. production of edible beans and 60% of the nation's sugar beets are grown in North Dakota and Minnesota, and many farmers grow both crops. As local restaurants aim to source local products, there are some ways growers can better market their products to these buyers. Ariana Schumacher spoke with some beef producers and shares their tips.
There's easier ways to get beef than buying directly from a producer. So you have to provide something else, and whether that's that local story, that better flavor, those are all things that lead into that.
Troy and Stacy Hadrick ranch near Falkton, South Dakota. One of the many things they do on their ranch is raise beef for restaurants across the state.
We've really enjoyed getting to work with restaurants. It's part of the industry that's really, it's part of our industry, but one that we don't necessarily get to experience a lot.
Selling to restaurants is different than selling directly to the consumer.
I think restaurants have unique, different issues than what consumers do in the sense of the quantity they can take, how it comes to them, and in what format. It's just really developing and answering those logistic questions that are a lot different than direct to consumers.
When you're trying to sell beef to the restaurants, Stacy says you need to have a clear understanding of what you're raising.
It's not necessarily the color of the hide, it's to these restaurants like what's underneath of it, what's the meat quality look like.
You also have to make sure you're finding the right restaurants for your products, and the restaurants have to have the right kind of chefs.
This isn't a rip open the bag and throw in the microwave kind of thing. So you got to have some talent in the kitchen, and finding those right restaurants where you're a good fit is really important too.
It helps to work with a company that's interested in learning about the ag industry as well.
The best part about the restaurants that we've worked with at Vanguard Hospitality is that they've been more than willing to do the learning on their end, and we've all kind of jumped into this together and worked together.
In Watertown, South Dakota, this is Ariana Schumacher for AgWeek.
Troy encourages people who want to support local producers to eat at restaurants serving local products. A new variety of spring wheat has been developed at South Dakota State University. It's called Enhance SD. SDSU spring wheat breeder Carl Glover says it takes about 10 years to develop a new variety. He says Enhance SD is notable for its good yield potential, as well as test weight and protein content. It's also resistant to fusarium head blight and bacterial leaf streak, and he says it will be good for baking.
End-use quality like protein, flour extraction rates, loaf volume, things like that are also measured as the materials are going through the breeding program and eventually considered before release. And Enhance SD has good values for most of those characteristics that are associated with milling and baking qualities too.
Glover says Enhanced SD will be available to certified seed producers this year, and the seed they produce will be available to growers in 2026. Cereal rye is a good-to cover crop for many producers, including organic growers looking to avoid chemical weed control. A new study uses cereal rye as a cover crop in soybeans. University of Minnesota Extension educator Eric Yu spoke at the annual Minnesota Organic Conference in St. Cloud. A U of M study used cereal rye as a cover crop in soybeans. He says cover crops in soybeans provide biomass for the following growing season, erosion control and effective weed control in conventional and organic systems.
Especially in conventional farming, we're less likely to rely on herbicides when we incorporate things like cover cropping.
Yu says winter kill is another option, especially in organic systems, because growers don't have to worry about spring termination. Options suggested by the University of Minnesota include winter rye, oats, and forage or tillage radish. Up next on AgWeek TV, our livestock tour kicks off with stops in North Dakota, with a man determined to keep ranching despite a devastating accident.
For home delivery of AgWeek, log on to agweek.com or call 800-811-2580.
Introducing the all-new Vatterstadt Tempo K24, designed and built in the U.S. It combines capacity with superior precision, even at very high speeds. With PowerShoot technology that uses positive air pressure to take full control of the seed from the meter all the way down to the soil, using no belts, motors, or brushes. Start your journey to outstanding emergence. Pre-order your Tempo K today.
A farmer's work is never done. You're not just planting a seed or harvesting a crop. You're growing a legacy. When you're up before dawn and out long past dusk, you need a banker who will work with your schedule, not the other way around. At Choice, we do banking differently, giving farmers like you time back to focus on what really matters. Choice Bank, top North Dakota ag bank for 10 years running, and always people first.
Looking to add non-GMO conventional and organic soybeans to your rotation this year? Soyco International out of Gary, Minnesota is looking for new farmer contracts for the 2025 season. They have proven marketing strategies, partnered with local agronomy expertise to work alongside and provide the certified seeds needed for their contract growers. Soyco International is offering premium prices to boost your operation's bottom line. Reach out to Sean Young today at 218-350-3863 to answer any questions.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Attention farmers, increase your revenue and prevent compaction from squeezing your profits with PTG's Central Tire Inflation System, now offered at OK Tire and Service. All controlled from the tips of your fingers, ensuring increased yield and improved fuel economy by adjusting your tire pressure within minutes. You are ensuring the best performance from your tractor on the field and off the field, compatible with any radial tire. Call the OK Tire team today or visit oktireinc.com to learn more.
The AgWeek Livestock Tour is sponsored by Jorgensen Land and Cattle and Linskov Ranch.
Our annual AgWeek Livestock Tour kicks off this week, and we begin with a different type of story. Jenny Schleck takes us to western North Dakota, where she introduces us to a rancher who has found a way to continue in the business he loves, despite a devastating accident. It's this week's AgWeek cover story.
It's been 7 years since Doug Beekler lost an arm. But with the help of North Dakota Vocational Rehabilitation, he's been able to keep raising cattle.
Or I just use my body to push it open. Like, this is how I kind of go inward. It's one of those things where a lot of people ask me, well, how do you do this? But you just, I guess it kind of goes back to the stubbornness. You just, you find a way to do it.
Beekler lost his arm while baling hay in 2017. Most every job got harder, especially with livestock. But he knew he wasn't going to stop ranching.
Cattle have always been my passion, and so it wasn't really an option for me to give that up.
Beekler-Simmental has about 250 head of cattle and 60 sheep. It was already a hard job without his additional challenges. So it was a game changer when he got involved with North Dakota Vocational Rehabilitation. It's a program that helps find adaptations to keep people on the job. The tools and modifications the program added to his ranch helped make his daily life easier.
I think there's so many risks in this business unless you're forced to make a change, it's really hard to change. And losing my arm really kind of changed my whole thought process on how am I going to do this.
Elton Lassiter is a vocational rehabilitation counselor and rural services coordinator for North Dakota. His job is to evaluate people's abilities and limitations and find ways to make things work for them. He likes to keep people doing what they love.
It's a family operation. It's one we want to keep that going, help them keep their livelihood and keep them working it as long as they can. It's their career.
Lassiter says he knows there are more people out there who could use his help to make their lives easier.
There's so many things that they can do. There's so many things that you might not even consider. And if you feel like you have a need and things are getting harder, I just encourage you to reach out and ask for some help.
In Linton, North Dakota, this is Jenny Schlecht for AgWeek.
You could read more, including where you can get vocational rehab help in several states, in the next AgWeek magazine or at agweek.com. Our tour now takes us to eastern North Dakota, where I visited a first-generation registered cattle operation.
I've always had a love for the cattle end of it.
Ryan Ressler grew up in the ag industry, but always knew he wanted to produce registered cattle. So about 15 years ago, he and his wife Megan made the jump into the registered Black Angus world, and now they run around 350 head on their ranch.
Predominantly, we aim for the maternal aspect of the cow herd, or trying to have females that will produce a good calf, but yet stay bred and get bred every year and on time.
My husband and I met at SDSU, actually through a Temple Grandin course, and I was actually raised in the city.
Megan Ressler didn't grow up in ag, but has come to love living and raising their 4 children on their Cooperstown ranch.
Absolute favorite part is watching the fact that they get to become adults way faster than I think than a lot of their city peers. They have unbelievable responsibility, but a lot of times it's stuff that they're naturally ready for.
The Ressler kids have become an important part of the seed stock operation, especially as their annual production sale approaches. The sale will include 50 yearling bulls, 6 age bulls, 12 registered heifers, and 150 commercial Angus heifers. When it came to their herd's genetics, the couple recently took off a year of embryo transfer.
It was really nerve-wracking because we were worried that, your genetics, the raw and naked genetics that are sitting out in your pasture, whether or not they're actually doing their job. And I feel like they did this year, so it's exciting to see that our cows, even if we don't do embryos, they can still provide a really nice animal for a lot of our customers.
For Ryan Ressler, the herd's hardiness is what sets their cattle apart.
We don't run our cattle on very good grass just because there's a lot of farmland, so the pasture land that we have available to us is usually stuff that's not desirable farm ground. So it's a lot of lower ground, slough ground, not a ton of nutrients in it. So the cows that can make it, they get bred back and produce a really good calf, tend to really bloom. And
the Ressler Ranch annual production sale will be on February 6th and begins at 1 p.m. Ahead on AgweekTV, a proper grain handling system can benefit the farm.
Improve the profitability of your ranch by partnering with Top Herefords. Attend the 25th Anniversary Bull Sale, February 14th at the ranch in Grace City, North Dakota. When you buy a Top Herefords bull, you're getting top-of-the-line genetics and benefits of marketing your feeder cattle and replacement quality heifers direct. It's a common-sense approach to greater profits on your ranch. View the 2025 catalog on topherefords.com and join us at the Bull Sale, February 14th at 1 p.m.
Protect your wheels from wear, tear, and debris obstruction with the patented Gauge Wheel Protection System from Jung Enterprise, Inc.
It's steel on steel, so there's no friction like you have with rubber, so it turns much easier.
The steel ring also acts as a scraper, preventing spoked wheels from getting plugged in the mud and the lip of the tire from getting worn away.
It's made such a big difference. I don't have near the issues anymore.
Reduce downtime and extend the life of your tires. Contact Jung Enterprise, Inc. today.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, affordable health insurance, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of the uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
We offer the full lineup of brand products. Big ones are going to be your conveyors, your land rollers, grain carts, high-speed discs. Those are going to be the very popular ones that we see out in the countryside and we like to have on hand here at all times.
Brand does a really good job of supporting the products and providing the parts on time and when you need them. For a full line of brand products, give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
Winter is here, and so are the savings. At Gateway Building Systems, take advantage of limited-time winter discounts on Brock solid grain bins, built to protect your harvest and your bottom line. Need immediate assistance? Our expert millwrights crews are available now to handle your repairs and upgrades. Schedule your preseason checkup today. Don't wait. Lock in your winter discounts. Call Gateway Building Systems at 1-800-747-4499.
AgWeek Weather is sponsored by Bremer Bank. Connect with a banker today at bremer.com.
Will this winter weather stay frigid? Here's Dylan with our AgriWeather outlook.
Looking ahead to the end of January, it does look like we'll have a dry end to what has been a pretty dry month. And on top of that, temperatures are expected to be mild. We've had a lot of these temperatures through this month of January where we've had a stretch of warm weather, a stretch of cool weather, a stretch of warm weather, but the end of the month looks to just stay warm. And then we'll take a look past that and take a look at a possible pattern switch as we head on into February. So for Grand Forks, we're going to go through the snowfall totals for the month, the winter, and compare that to average for the entire winter. We'll start with Grand Forks. For the month, through 122, 5.9 inches of snow. The winter, just 1.5 feet, which puts us 9 inches below average through the 22nd of January. For Fargo, we've had even less snow. In fact, we are over a foot below average from where we should be here at the end of January. Sioux Falls, so far this month, not even an inch of snow. And this winter, not even 6 inches. That puts Sioux Falls 16 inches in terms of below average in terms of snowfall. Bismarck, so far this month, just over 2.5 inches, 14 inches, almost 15 inches really behind average. And then Rapid City has picked up a little bit more snow, but still a wide pace of about 8 inches below average. So we definitely have not seen a lot of snow so far this winter. Going back to last winter, you could almost say we're in a mini snow drought compared. Didn't have hardly any snow last year. So far this winter, we are behind on snow too. And for the rest of January, I expect most of the snow, aside from maybe a few flurries, to stay up to the north in the Canadian provinces into parts of the northeast. More rain down to the south where they just picked up some historical snowfall earlier on this past week, and then rain up on the Pacific coast. Now I want to show you this. This is the temperature pattern so far for the month of January. So the days that are blue are colder than average. The days that are red are warmer than average. This goes back to my first point in that we have spurts of colder than average, then warmer than average, then colder than average, then warmer than average, then colder than average, then you get where I'm headed here. That's been the pattern so far this January. Our weather pattern has been cold, then warm, and cold, then warm. I do expect that to switch up here as we push on into this upcoming week, as the cold air looks to move its way up to the northeast after this one little cold snap we have on Saturday. The mild air will start to come on in, and that cold, frigid air stays up to the north near the Hudson Bay, and that keeps us pretty mild for this week, and it looks to continue that way as we head on into the first week of February too. So let's talk about precip. With this pattern switch, I do think we may see our snow pattern switch a little bit too. It's been a dry winter so far, but for the first week of February, it does look like we may have a couple more snow chances in the northern plains.
Integrity, excellence, teamwork. At Titan Machinery, we take care of our team. Whether you are an experienced technician or looking to start your career, Titan has a spot for you. Earn a competitive pay with the potential to make in excess of 6 figures. Service techs, come grow with a company that invests in you. Titan Machinery offers company HSA and 401k contributions, affordable health insurance, and a generous tool allowance. Plus, we'll provide all of your uniform and safety gear. Apply today at titanmachinery.com/careers.
Looking to add non-GMO conventional and organic soybeans to your rotation this year? Soyco International out of Gary, Minnesota is looking for new farmer contracts for the 2025 season. They have proven marketing strategies, partnered with local agronomy expertise to work alongside and provide the certified seeds needed for their contract growers. Soyco International is offering premium prices to boost your operations' bottom line. Reach out to Sean Young today at 218-350-3863 to answer any questions.
At OK Tire, we're here to keep you going, whether you're in the field or on the job site. From heavy-duty replacement tracks and conversion systems, planters to power sports, we have the right solution to tackle every working condition. We even offer a free, no-obligation undercarriage inspection to ensure your equipment is ready to roll. With expert installation and premium brands, OK Track Solutions is here to keep your operation on track.
There's no easy button, no guarantees, or promises of a good year. This is farming. It's unpredictable and demanding, with long days and sometimes stressful nights. It's weathering the storms and coming out successful. Farming isn't for everyone. We thank those who make it their life, because it is for everyone.
Protect your wheels from wear, tear, and debris obstruction with the patented gauge wheel protection system from Jung Enterprise, Inc.
It's steel on steel, so there's no friction like you have with rubber, so it turns much easier.
The steel ring also acts as a scraper, preventing spoked wheels from getting plugged in the mud and the lip of the tire from getting worn away.
It's made such a big difference. I don't have near the issues anymore.
Reduce downtime and extend the life of your tires. Contact Jung Enterprise, Inc. today.
Having the proper grain handling system can greatly benefit a farmer's bottom line. I recently visited with some producers who worked with advanced grain handling system to build their ideal grain storage and drying setup.
It was really seamless and easy to work through what our options were and came up with a system.
Justin and Jason Topp were on the hunt for a new grain drying system when they noticed the one they had was holding them back.
You know, our corn acres have been kind of growing, and we had a dryer here that we just weren't really feeling like we were getting enough capacity out of it. And as corn acres kept getting higher, I guess we kind of decided last fall after harvest was over we were going to need to do something different and make an upgrade.
That's when Justin and Jason decided to work with advanced grain handling to build their ideal grain drying setup.
They were really prompt on all of their timelines and really from the start gave us a true idea of, hey, this is when we're going to get your dryer. Dryer showed up on time, had an awesome crew doing install.
But even after the grain drying system was built, Advanced Grain was still there for the Topps to make sure they were set up for success.
They'll service it, take calls whenever we had a question or a concern or a problem. They were there to help us every step of the way. And just in general on the dryer, just the simplicity of the dryer, you know, and the quality of the grain that's coming out of it.
Advanced Grain was also able to help the Topps with their old grain drying system.
That was a huge part for us on the old dryer is them taking the dryer in on trade for this one.
For Justin and Jason, working with Advanced Grain Handling is a no-brainer.
We would highly recommend advanced grain handling. Like if you're thinking about upgrading dryers, which I think in today's world where there's so much more corn around, to get a hold of advanced grain.
For more information about advanced grain handling systems, please visit the website or call the number listed on your screen. Up next on AgweekTV, we'll visit a creamery that's been making butter by hand for almost 100 years.
Introducing the all-new Vatterstadt Tempo K24, designed and built in the U.S. It combines capacity with superior precision, even at very high speeds. With PowerShoot technology that uses positive air pressure to take full control of the seed from the meter all the way down to the soil, using no belts, motors, or brushes. Start your journey to outstanding emergence. Pre-order your Tempo K today.
A farmer's work is never done. You're not just planting a seed or harvesting a crop. You're growing a legacy. When you're up before dawn and out long past dusk, you need a banker who will work with your schedule, not the other way around. At Choice, we do banking differently, giving farmers like you time back to focus on what really matters. Choice Bank, top North Dakota Ag Bank for 10 years running, and always people first.
Winter is here, and so are the savings. At Gateway Building Systems, take advantage of limited-time winter discounts on Brock solid grain bins, built to protect your harvest and your bottom line. Need immediate assistance? Our expert millwrights crews are available now to handle your repairs and upgrades. Schedule your preseason checkup today. Don't wait. Lock in your winter discounts. Call Gateway Building Systems at 1-800-747-4499.
We offer the full lineup of brand products. Big ones are going to be your conveyors, your land rollers, grain carts, high-speed discs. Those are going to be the very popular ones that we see out in the countryside and we like to have on hand here at all times.
Brent does a really good job of supporting the products and providing the parts on time and when you need them. For a full line of Brent products, give us a call at 701-361-4790 or visit our website at northstar-ag.com.
We started with a raw piece of ground out here and we put in bins, and then we started coming in with the leg and dryer system and threw in a pit. The process with working with them has been very simple. It was a one-stop shop. Go there. We came up with a plan together and they have been executing it flawlessly. Hi, I'm Brian Hoffman and I highly recommend using Advanced Grain out of Mayville, North Dakota.
For nearly 100 years, an old dairy co-op has been churning out butter in central Minnesota. Several times a month, a handful of staff members of the Millerville Co-op Creamery Association handcraft butter here like they have since 1929, with cream and salt. It's part of a full-service cooperative, with a retail shop with meats, cheese, and of course butter, and a True Value hardware. Next to the Creamery building is the agronomy side, and behind both is the shop offering auto mechanic services. The Creamery got its start when the countryside was covered in smaller dairy farms.
Like, this creamery is part of the heritage here in Millerville. It's really a part of our identity here in Millerville. It would be really sad if this ever went away, and I'm not going to go away on my watch.
Millerville Co-op Creamery butter can be found in about 60 stores from the Fargo-Moorhead area to south of the Twin Cities. They also sell it online and ship it around the country. We appreciate you watching AgweekTV. Remember to check us out daily on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up on all your ag news. Have a wonderful week, everyone.